In 2016, UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon will convene a global humanitarian summit to map out a new humanitarian approach that is more effective and inclusive and more representative of the needs and challenges of our rapidly changing world. The landscape of humanitarian action has changed significantly since the system was devised 25 years ago. Climate change, rapid population growth, and shifting political and ideological approaches are increasing the demand for humanitarian action. A more efficient and effective humanitarian approach is needed. The number and nature of actors involved in humanitarian response has also increased. For instance, more than 3,000 NGOs responded to the Haiti earthquake in 2010. The number of NGOs operating in major emergencies has grown remarkably, and militaries and the private sector are becoming increasingly involved in disaster response. The summit will focus on 4 thematic areas that have been identified. Humanitarian effectiveness. Humanitarian action needs to be more effective to ensure that limited resources can continue to meet growing needs, now of over 100 million people every year. The complexity of humanitarian work today must also include accountability to affected people with the understanding of what humanitarian interventions need to achieve. Reducing vulnerability, managing risk. The recent devastating food crises in the Horn of Africa and the Sahel revealed yet again the limitations of humanitarian response when it focuses only on short-term solutions. The summit will identify new ways to reduce and manage risk so that we can build more resilient communities and reduce the need for continued or new humanitarian responses. Transformation through innovation. The humanitarian system needs to change and improve. Humanitarians must look beyond their systems and processes and seek inspiration and innovation in new technologies and partners to identify new tools, products, and services to respond to more complex humanitarian needs. A more dynamic learning approach is needed with solutions that transform how humanitarian work is carried out, serving the needs of people in conflict. The scale, intensity, and duration of armed conflicts, including the massive displacement of people, continue to create immense humanitarian needs more than ever before. In 2012, 28.8 million people were internally displaced, almost 11% more than in 2007. The summit will identify new strategies to access and support all people affected by conflict, regardless of their views, affiliations, or creed, which remains a critical challenge. To be a success, the summit needs to represent the widest possible range of perspectives. The UN will guide this consultative process, but the insights need to come from governments, NGOs, the private sector, and most importantly, from people affected by humanitarian crises. In the lead up to the summit, regional, global, and online consultations will take place so that all stakeholders are heard and represented. OCHA encourages all of our partners to get involved and consider how they believe the global humanitarian agenda for the future should take shape.